Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves because the circus just added a brand new act. And this time, Chrisean Rock is right in the center ring, not as a victim, not as a bystander, but as the alleged puppet master in a feud nobody saw coming. Blueface versus Lil Baby was already messy, already ugly, already trending like wildfire. But when Chrisean's name got dragged into the beef, that's when chaos exploded into something so wild it makes the Kardashians look like they're filming a PBS special. We're talking leaks, rumors, subliminals, and receipts so messy they should come with a hazmat warning. Blueface swears Lil Baby was getting too close to his baby mama. Lil Baby claps back with cool, subliminal shade that makes him look like the mafia boss of rap beef. And then, whispers start flying that Chrisean wasn't just in the crossfire. She was playing both sides. Is she the victim of two rappers with egos too big to fit through the door? Or is she the one who lit the match that turned a petty DM into a cultural explosion? Either way, the internet has already picked up their popcorn, and this story is about to get ugly. If you thought rap beef was dead, think again. What started as whispers of Lil Baby maybe, possibly kinda sorta being too friendly with Chrisean Rock, has turned into a full-blown demolition derby of egos, tweets, and crying live streams. And the internet? Oh, they're not just watching, they're dissecting every second like it's the Zapruder film of hip-hop drama. Here's the backstory. Lil Baby, the polished hitmaker with more Billboard plaques than Blueface has barbershop fades, has always branded himself as the unbothered king. Blueface, meanwhile, thrives on mess. He's not just a rapper, he's a Zeus Network storyline in human form. Put these two in the same conversation and you're guaranteed drama. Add Chrisean Rock? You've got a nuclear bomb. It all began with a few screenshots. Fans claimed Lil Baby was checking in on Chrisean while her relationship with Blueface imploded for the 1,000th time. Were the DMs innocent? Maybe were they receipts of something more? Depends who you ask. But Blueface saw them as betrayal. Not just from Chrisean, but from Baby too. And if there's one thing Blueface loves more than starting beef, it's starting beef in public. So he did what Blueface always does. He picked up his phone and tweeted. One of his infamous subtweets read, "Nons playin' big bro until they wanna be stepdaddy." The implication was clear. Lil Baby wasn't just checking in. He was allegedly trying to slide into stepdad territory. Whether that was reality or delusion didn't matter. The internet had its villain, its victim, and its star. Lil Baby, true to form, didn't rant. He went cryptic. He posted an Instagram story saying, "I don't play with kids, I get money." The line was icy, dismissive, and perfect. No names, no tags, but everybody knew who he meant. It was the rap equivalent of dropping the mic and walking out. But here's where the plot thickens. Fans started pointing fingers at Chrisean. Not only was she in the middle of the beef, but some claimed she wanted to be. Conspiracy theories spread like wildfire. She was entertaining both sides for clout. She was feeding Blueface paranoia to stay relevant. She was messaging Lil Baby for validation. The narrative twisted so hard it made a pretzel look straight. And then came the receipts. Or at least what people swore were receipts. Blurry screenshots of DMs allegedly between Chrisean and Lil Baby popped up on gossip blogs. Were they real? Questionable. Did fans care? Not one bit. Suddenly, Chrisean wasn't just the pawn. She was the puppet master, allegedly exposed for playing both sides while the internet burned. The first reactions were instant chaos. Team Blueface fans flooded the timeline, screaming "exposed" in all caps and spamming snake emojis under Chrisean's posts. They accused her of betraying Blueface, embarrassing Baby Jr., and fueling a beef that should have never existed. One viral tweet read, "Blueface warned us." Chrisean out here entertaining DMs while crying on live, snake behavior. Meanwhile, Lil Baby's supporters mocked the entire situation. To them, Blueface was reaching, Chrisean was messy, and Baby was above it all. Memes spread of Lil Baby sitting on a throne, ignoring Blueface's tantrums. With captions like, "When you make 100K a verse and don't argue with Zeus Network extras. Brutal." And of course, Chrisean's loyal fanbase rode in like knights on Twitter steeds, defending her through the fire. They argued the receipts were fake, Blueface was gaslighting, and Chrisean was once again being scapegoated for men's fragile egos. One fan said, "She can't breathe without y'all dragging her. She's the victim here, again." The memes, though, were merciless. One edit showed Chrisean photoshopped into a Mortal Kombat screen between Blueface and Lil Baby, with the caption, "Choose your fighter, toxic, unbothered, or tears." Another had Baby Jr. holding a baby bottle like a mic. with the words, "Stepdaddy Auditions 2024. The internet didn't just laugh, it howled. Podcasts and YouTubers saw blood in the water. Academics streamed for hours, scrolling through Blueface's tweets, Lil Baby's cryptic bars, and Chrisean's crying clips like it was evidence in a federal trial. Joe Budden's podcast debated whether Chrisean was exposed or just exploited. Others flat out called it, "Blueface is jealous, Chrisean is messy, baby don't care." The narrative spiraled fast. 1 minute, Chrisean was the victim of Blueface's paranoia. The next, she was the mastermind behind it all. Fans couldn't decide if she was Helen of Troy, Eve in the garden, or just a woman crying on live while two men dragged her name through the mud, and the drama didn't stay online. Industry chatter began buzzing. Promoters whispered about whether Blueface was sabotaging himself. Collaborators wondered if associating with Chrisean was too risky. And Lil Baby? He stayed silent, letting the chaos fuel his mystique even more. What made it all worse was Chrisean's silence, or more accurately, her tears. Every time she went live, she cried. Every time she cried, fans screenshot it. Every screenshot became a meme, and every meme became fuel. Her pain was real, but the internet turned it into entertainment. One meme showed her face in black and white with the caption, "Me just trying to nap while two millionaires fight over me." The first 72 hours of the scandal were pure fire. Hashtags like "Started Chrisean Exposed," "Blueface vs. Baby," and "Protect Baby Jr." trended simultaneously. Everyone had a take. Everyone had a meme. Everyone picked a side, and this was just the beginning. Because if the exposure was ugly, the escalation that followed would take this beef to nuclear levels, with celebrity reactions, fan wars, and cultural debates hotter than anything Zeus Network could script. If the first wave of this drama was a thunderstorm, the escalation was a Category 5 hurricane with Chrisean, Blueface, and Lil Baby caught in the eye. What started as some blurry DM screenshots had morphed into the most chaotic crossover event since Infinity War. Except instead of superheroes, we had rappers with Twitter fingers, crying lives, and fan bases ready to go to digital war. The celebrity peanut gallery couldn't resist. Summer Walker threw gasoline on the fire with another cryptic Instagram story, "Blood don't mean loyalty." Fans instantly tied it to Chrisean's so-called exposure, suggesting she was betraying her own relationship for attention. Tamar Braxton went live again, practically crying as she declared, "When you let the internet get in your family, everybody loses." Boozy, as always, jumped in with his patented hood TED Talk. These women playing both sides, these N-ums emotional, and the babies always the ones caught in the mess. Y'all gotta stop letting clout control your whole life. His rant was clipped, auto-tuned, and, because the internet has no chill, turned into a TikTok dance challenge within 24 hours. Even Cardi B got pulled into the mix, not by choice but by memes. One edit showed her shaking her head with the caption, "Chrisean Rock watching Lil Baby and Blueface argue over her while she cries on Lev." Millions of views. The fanbase war went nuclear. Team Blueface insisted the receipts proved Chrisean wasn't loyal. They painted her as exposed, the villain who embarrassed Blueface and their child by entertaining DMs with another rapper. Team Lil Baby clowned Blueface relentlessly, posting side-by-side comparisons of Baby's platinum plaques versus Blueface's Zeus contracts. Comments like "one raps, one reality TV fights" flooded the timeline. And Team Chrisean, they dug in like an army. To them, she wasn't exposed at all. She was exploited, gaslit, and weaponized by two men fighting for internet points. The memes became weapons of mass destruction. One viral edit showed Blueface typing furiously while Chrisean sobbed in the background, with the caption, "Me arguing with myself in the shower." Another had Lil Baby photoshopped into a courtroom with Baby Jr. as the judge, and Blueface screaming, "He DM'd her, Your Honor." The internet laughed so hard it nearly forgot this was supposed to be about rap. Podcasts and YouTubers turned the scandal into their Super Bowl. Academics streamed for hours, this time with a literal chart of Blueface's tweets versus Lil Baby's subliminals. His chat spammed "snake," emojis for Chrisean, while others begged for a diss track. Joe Budden went in deeper, saying, "Chrisean being exposed? She's not the villain. She's the ecosystem. Without her, Blueface is nothing. Without her, this beef doesn't exist. Shots fired at Blueface. This beef doesn't exist. Shots fired at Blueface." Meanwhile, gossip blogs ran wild with conspiracy theories. Some swore Blueface leaked the DMs himself to stay relevant. Others claimed Lil Baby was secretly feeding the narrative to promote his next album. A few messier outlets suggested Chrisean staged the entire thing to position herself as the ultimate drama queen of hip-hop. Proof? None. Engagement? Millions. And the escalation didn't stop at talk. It spilled into music. Blueface teased a diss track on Instagram, posting a snippet where he rapped, "Big bro or stepdaddy, you pick the role at DM my BM, now you exposed." Fans roasted him instantly, calling it more like Zeus Network poetry than rap. Lil Baby didn't respond with a full diss, but he did post a clip of himself in the studio spitting, "Nuts chasing drama. I'm chasing commas." That one line alone trended for days. Chrisean, caught in the middle, tried to speak her truth, or at least cry it. She went live again, sobbing, "Y'all always blaming me for everything. I didn't DM nobody, I didn't do nothing. I'm just tired." The tears were raw, but the internet turned them into GIFs, TikTok sounds, and reaction memes. Her pain became content, her breakdown became punchlines, and her humanity got lost in the chaos, and the cultural comparisons started rolling in. Fans called it the Zeus version of Nas versus Jay-Z. Others compared it to Solange versus Jay-Z in the elevator, but with more tweets and less class. Some even said it was Love and Hip Hop meets 8 Mile, except without the talent or the rap battles. Savage. The escalation also had a ripple effect in the industry. Promoters started questioning whether booking Blueface was worth the headache. Lil Baby's team reportedly loved the attention. Every time his name trended, streams spiked. And Zeus Network? They were salivating. Rumors swirled they were already planning a spin-off season called Chrisean Exposed, The Beef Diaries. The ugliest part? Baby Jr. became a meme mascot. Edits showed him holding court in fake Judge Judy skits, with captions like, "My mom crying, my dad tweeting, my stepdad winning Grammys." At first it was funny, then it got dark. Even fans started asking, isn't it kind of messed up we keep turning a baby into a meme? But by then the internet was too far gone. This wasn't just drama anymore, it was a referendum. Was Chrisean truly exposed, or just another casualty of Blueface's obsession and the internet's hunger for mess? Was Lil Baby's silence legendary restraint or subtle shade? And was Blueface proving loyalty, or proving insecurity? By the end of the escalation, one truth was undeniable. The scandal was bigger than the music. It wasn't about bars, beats, or diss tracks. It was about egos, clout, and an audience addicted to chaos. And the ugliest part? The aftermath would stick to their reputations like a tattoo you regret but can never remove. Because in the court of public opinion, once you're exposed, even allegedly, you're never innocent again. When the smoke started to clear, the aftermath of this so-called exposure looked less like the end of a feud and more like the wreckage after a car crash. Blueface, Lil Baby, and Chrisean Rock all walked away, but none of them came out clean. What was once just internet beef had mutated into something much darker, a permanent stain on their reputations. A cautionary tale for anyone who thinks rap drama can stay cute forever. Let's start with Blueface, because if there was ever a man determined to burn down his own house while bragging about the fire, it's him. His non-stop subtweets, his obsession with Chrisean's alleged DMs, and his stepdad shade didn't make him look like a loyal partner. It made him look pressed, insecure, and petty. Fans clowned him relentlessly. One viral comment summed it up. Imagine fighting with a millionaire rapper because your baby mama cried on Live. For someone who built his entire brand on trolling, Blueface looked like the one being trolled. By himself. Lil Baby, meanwhile, came out of the feud with his cool-headed brand mostly intact. He barely said anything, let the internet argue for him, and focused on money moves. But even Baby wasn't untouchable. Some fans accused him of entertaining the drama in the first place, of being messy behind closed doors while pretending to be above it all. His silence was both his shield and his weapon, but it also left just enough room for doubt. Was he truly innocent, or just slick enough to stay unbothered while others drowned? And then there's Chrisean Rock, the woman who was supposed to be collateral damage, but instead became the centerpiece. The word exposed stuck to her like glue. It didn't matter if the receipts were fake, if the DMs were doctored, or if she really had nothing to do with Lil Baby. The internet doesn't care about truth. It cares about the narrative. And the narrative was brutal. Chrisean, the messy chaos magnet, exposed again, crying again, at the center of another circus she couldn't escape. Her fan base fought hard. painting her as a victim of male ego wars and internet exploitation. But sympathy only goes so far. For every fan defending her, there was another dragging her, saying she thrived on the drama, loved being in the spotlight, and played the game just as much as Blueface did. One post went viral. "Chrisean ain't exposed. She's exposed the game. This is what happens when your life is a storyline." Ouch. The family fallout was even uglier. Her siblings, already messy in their own right, jumped online with cryptic comments and shady likes. Instead of closing ranks, the Rocks seemed to splinter even more. Some sided with Chrisean, others quietly entertained the idea that maybe she was playing both sides. Baby Jr., the real innocent in all of this, became the unspoken centerpiece. Fans begged for him to be protected from the circus, but instead his name and face became meme fodder. The industry's response? Cold, cautious, and calculated. Promoters didn't want Blueface's mess on their stage. Brands whispered that Chrisean was too unpredictable for partnerships. And while Lil Baby's streams spiked from the drama, insiders noted the shadow of the scandal still lingered. The line between marketing buzz and brand liability had never been thinner. Memes fossilized the feud into permanent culture. Blueface became the face of insecurity, Lil Baby the king of cool detachment, and Chrisean the eternal crying queen of live. Anytime Blueface posts now, clown emojis swarm his comments. Anytime Lil Baby drops a song, fans spam "Don't DM Chrisean this time." Anytime Chrisean goes live, someone comments "Exposed again?" The internet never forgets, and it never forgives. But perhaps the ugliest aftermath was the cultural conversation it sparked. For decades, rap beef meant music, bars, diss tracks, lyrical shots fired in the booth. Now, it meant Twitter fingers, crying lives, and babies turned into memes. Podcasts debated whether this was the death of real rap beef. Academics, the scholarly kind, not DJ academics, wrote essays about the weaponization of Black motherhood in influencer culture. Blogs called it the Zeusification of hip-hop, when personal chaos becomes the product, and the music is just the background noise. For Blueface, the aftermath was humiliation. For Lil Baby, it was a reminder that even kings aren't untouchable. For Chrisean, it was another scar. One more betrayal, one more meme, one more moment where her pain became everybody else's entertainment. And the cliffhanger? It's not over. Feuds like this don't die, they evolve. Blueface is too addicted to attention to let it go. Lil Baby is too prideful to stay silent forever. And Chrisean? She's too central to the chaos to ever escape. The next DM, the next subtweet, the next livestream meltdown, it's inevitable. The internet will be ready with popcorn, GIFs, and snake emojis locked and loaded. Because in this circus, peace is the only thing that doesn't sell. And if there's one truth the aftermath proved, it's this. Once you've been exposed, you never go back to normal. And that's the story. Folks, the beef that started with a couple blurry DMs and ended up redefining what it means to be messy in hip-hop. Blueface went full Twitter warrior, Lil Baby played the cool king of shade, and Chrisean Rock. She got exposed, dragged, defended, memed, and cried, all in the same 72 hours. This wasn't just a feud. This was a demolition derby of egos, and the internet was the only real winner. But now it's your turn to weigh in. Was Chrisean really exposed, or was she just caught in the crossfire of two men battling for headlines? Was Blueface protecting his family, or just proving how insecure he really is? Did Lil Baby win by staying unbothered, or did his silence expose him too? Drop your verdict in the comments because this jury never adjourns. And the court of public opinion is always open. And while you're at it, smash that like button like Blueface smashing out tweets at 3 a.m., subscribe harder than Chrisean goes viral for crying on live, and hit that notification bell like Lil Baby hitting platinum plaques. Because tomorrow, another feud, another betrayal, another scandal hotter than your group chat's tea. And when it drops, you already know Fame Flaws will be here, exposing every messy detail with more spice than Zeus Network could ever script. This is Fame Flaws, where the lies unravel, the scandals sell out, and the truth? It always hits harder than the beef.